Hello and welcome back. BCDL 5, round 6. And we got, with me, Rob Wilson, notably in the match, versus Riley Curran on Elves. And you're on Jeskai Delver, correct?
Right, so Jeskai Stoneblade, but there are Delvers in the list.
Oh, so it's one of those, like, in-between sort of lists. Kind of hard to really nail down which way it is.
Right, really, I was looking for a diversification of threats.
That makes sense.
And White just has such good removal right now.
Yes, Prismatic really changes a lot of the dynamic in the format about what is and isn't good, and then also how you want to build your decks. So Riley had won the previous BCDL 4, correct?
Right, he's the defending champion at this point. And we're playing the winner of us may, at this point, we were thinking might be able to get into top 8, so...
Yeah, so it was a potential win in.
Right.
So you have the on-the-play Ragvan, always a good way to start.
Right, I mean, what I'm looking for here is being aggressive. I mean, he has this Once Upon a Time. I mean, you can't see it because of the glare, but he casts it Once Upon a Time here and finds Allosaur Shepherd.
Yeah, but you have, what, 9 removal spells in your main deck, so you're not particularly worried?
Right.
I assume you have one in your hand?
Yeah.
Like a bolt, it looks like?
There's no shortage of removal. So I end up drawing a Plow and just immediately bolt the Shepherd and get in for 2.
And you have the Treasure, and I think you had a Ponder, so you're going to get to do the Ponder here to hit your second land drop. That Green Sun looks like it's going to exile. You didn't bring any green creatures to the party, did you?
No.
Did you have a Ponder in your hand?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So he'll play a Heritage Druid and just immediately daze it. I mean, my plan here is just to keep him off, give me time to set up.
Yeah, you don't want to turn on his Cradle.
No.
More cards that don't do anything.
Yeah.
This is what I keep finding about Ragavan. In like non-blue matchups, so many of the cards your opponents are playing are just not good Magic cards in your deck. Like there's not cards that you could hit from Riley's deck that you would really be thrilled to play. Like I guess Mist, potentially, or yeah, I don't got many others.
Yeah,
I'm like looking at the deck, I'm just like none of these cards I'm happy to play. Like I guess sometimes you can glimpse into casting like a Delver, like not a ton of.
Yeah, so what I'm doing here is my goal here is just to jit him out.
Yep. I'm just curious why you are casting it in their end step and not just like waiting for full info.
At that point, with the force backup, I didn't think there was anything relevant that he would be able to do.
Sure.
Yeah, well, 2 counters. There we go.
This man over here trying to not have enough counters. Like I don't need the second counter.
Yeah, at this point I'll play a Ponder. And...
Yeah, it's definitely looking really good because they only have the one answer. So as long as you're counting Green Sun Zeniths and the actual factual Chris, you're pretty locked up for here because he's playing the older with an older style build, not having the Elvish Reclaimers. So, not that I think that would particularly help now that you already have 2 counters, but it does help against like the first hit and stuff like that. But now that you're gonna have, yeah.
So he'll scoop it up under the jit. At this point, he's pretty done.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to naturally draw the jit against decks where it's relevant. It's also like the most accessible. And you were playing the Kuldra, and then you had Batterskull on the sideboard. How was your impressions of Kuldra over the weekend?
It's great. I mean, pretty much any deck that's not playing white doesn't have a way to deal with it. So your white decks have multiple answers. Everything else has almost nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's been my impression as well. The card's just been feeling really good.
Yeah.
So here, I assume you're bringing in the meddling mages for the combo aspects of it, the extra swords, Text on Rough and Tumble, non-flying, right? So it's good here. Yeah, that seems easy. If we look at from Riley's side, I'm thinking you're bringing in the Progenitus in this matchup, and I think you're maybe supposed to be bringing in the second Grist and some number of trophy. Not all the trophy. I don't know exactly how many cards you're putting in and out.
If I'm him, I consider the endurances as well. I mean, I don't think I mean, you could bring the trophies and try and kind of trade 1-for-1 and combo. And that's probably his plan. The endurance are a good call to bring in as well. I mean, they'll stop some of the flyers, but it's just not an answer to Kaldra. I mean, endurance is a great threat or a great answer to a lot of what's going on, but it doesn't stop Kaldra complete.
I think your deck is not nearly as soft as to the endurance that you typically see. Like, you only have Delver that's soft to it. Like, you don't have the Darcy Murktide problem where one of your main threats gets turned into a 1/1 and your other threat is like hampered by a card coming into play. Whereas all your cards are more independent in their functioning. Like, obviously blocks Delver and Ragavan, but like you have a 1-drop and they have a 3-drop.
So, there's also a one of true name Nemesis that they can kind of get in there, whereas Jitwell. So it really, the deck really kind of blanks endurance right now.
Or at least it's not as soft. I still think like endurance is a good card if like from Bant's perspective, like if Bant was playing against you, I would still want the endurances. I wouldn't be boarding them out. I'm just not sure how much Elves as a deck with an alternative game plan, like has a powerful game plan, needs it. Because I think you can still get overpowered. It's not like a good enough like juke per se.
Right.
But definitely liking the Progenitus, the Grist, and some number of Assassin Trophy just for the Jitte. Like with that stuff in mind.
No, that's reasonable.
And I'm not particularly a fan of Oof against Jitte decks. I know we talked about this in a preview, but oftentimes because you can answer the Oof, it doesn't pose a threat like Oof Saboteur. They hate against degenerate stuff as opposed to hate against fair stuff.
Yeah, I don't expect that Riley brought in. I don't think we saw what Riley brought in, but I expect him not to have Oof in his deck. It just seems like the worst, unless you have so many bad cards to cut, and I don't think he has that many. I don't think it's where you want to be.
And I assume you're like cutting down on dazes, especially on the draw, and then Ragavan does not seem pretty well positioned in the matchup either. They just got too much idiots.
Yeah, my plan was, it's really the same as it was, just stop what he's doing and trade him 1-for-1 and then just pull ahead.
So, I mean, I just don't think either the Ragavan or the Dazes fit well into that because they're good at playing around Daze, both with Allosaur Shepherd and just by being a deck with a ton.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I cut the Dazes for that reason.
So if you're force pitching Force, I'm like pretty happy if I'm Riley. It like turns on my more powerful cards, my like glimpses and my natural orders. I know you go down on natural orders against the matchups, but it's still pretty good. It's like always a nice thing to see when you're a more combo-centric deck is seeing the Force get pitched to the Force. Either says they're low on blue cards or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, I think in the case of you, it is low on blue cards. You like have more removal.
Yeah, it's lower than most. It's closer to the 20.
So he did bring in the Thoughtseize. I had considered that since you were a Stoneforge deck, but wasn't sure that he had the slots to be able to do it.
Yeah, he'll take the Bolt here. That's easily the best choice.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing with the 7-drop in your hand?
Right. I mean, the checklist card is the Delver.
Yep.
But yeah, he'll easily take the Bolt and deploy a threat. And
this looks like a deployed blocker. Maybe not. Like none of the things are good for you to hit, so he probably just like sits.
Yeah, like, unfortunately for Riley, we top deck the removal. I believe it's a swords or an ending. It's one of the two of them.
One of a white card.
Yeah.
I think you're happy if you draw any white card in this position.
Yeah.
But
so, the Assassin's Trophy. I mean, we're running empty at this point, so he'll just draw a card, try to cycle through. The Delver flips. So and this is the problem that you were really alluding to, why Ragavan is kind of weak. I throw it in here hoping he'll make the trade, simply because I don't want him using the recursive draw.
Yeah, but it gives him... Yep. It definitely gives them the option, which is always awkward.
Yeah.
I don't like giving my opponents options, because they always pick what's best for them. Very inconsiderate.
Yeah. Yeah, but he ended up having the other visionary, so that plan was less effective. But here, he really is spending the time to spin his wheels when there's a real clock coming at him.
So I think he doesn't deploy the Allosaurus Shepherd to play around removal, which is interesting. Because I was thinking he may be doing it to play around to have extra cards in his hand for, what's it called? For a glimpse, but I don't think that's the case given what the rest of the makeup of his hand.
Yeah, I think we're looking at Cradle into Shepherd into
Murder You?
Swing. Yeah, I think that's the plan. We can't exactly see Riley's hand there. Yes, it's.
He'll play the Shepherd. The Shepherd. He has the draw.
And I think he's really just searching for the Cradle. Yeah, he's just.
He's doing
looking for that Cradle, doing the draw thing.
And you're at 16, so he's not going to have enough for to kill you next turn.
Yeah.
He will. Oh, he can't crack this fetch. How do we?
Yeah. So I end up having the bolt.
Oh, you have the bolt. Okay. I was trying to figure out how he could kill you, and you're just like, nope, get rid of that option.
No, it was, he was just spinning his wheels, didn't find the Cradle. At that point, I know it's just kind of a matter of time, and I happened to find what I needed in the bolt. Yeah.
And the Delver definitely put in work. I definitely think like Ragavan is at its worst in these sort of matchups. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you kept in so many. I don't know how many you kept in though, but
yeah, it's just more of how many cuts do you have, and that's kind of the problem. So, yeah, I mean, you'll see my sideboard here.
Oh, okay, we get to see it. Cool.
Yeah.
We can.
The Rough Tumbles, the Meddling Mages, and then a Plow and the third ending.
Oh, and the third ending is in there too. I must miss it on first glance at the deck list.
Yeah.
So we have this, and now what did you board out 4 days, I assume? And like season 2 Ragavan? Oh well.
Yeah.
Guess we don't have recording for that part, but okay. Well, I guess that's call that a wrap.
Yeah, and
it's a good quick match, but
yeah.
Getting to see what beats elves, just pressure combined with getting them to stumble a bit.
Yeah, and I think we have one more this round. I think the next is game 3, since this match was so quick. So we'll be right back.
Sounds